This week on Storytime at the Roo Bus, we're talking about some of our favorite other venues, including the Caverns, which hosted Cave Fest this past weekend. We're also talking about the scholarship applications for TOTEM and how you can help us get the word out about that. Welcome to Storytime at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Charla.
She's Charla. I'm Daniel. So good to have you out here. Last week, me and Brooklyn were hanging out inside the bus. Of course, you were on at the end of the episode, and obviously you and I catch up all the time in our own house over here, but we haven't been on the show to catch up. You've been pretty busy the past couple of weeks, right?
Just working mostly, and I did get to go see Fantagram last week over at Mars Music Hall.
Yeah. I like them a lot. I'm a little jealous. You had a girls' night with our buddy Amanda. We keep meaning to get on the show. One of these days we will.
Yes, Amanda invited me to go with her like a couple days before. I think someone had dropped out or something that was going. And anyways, it was amazing.
Yeah. So how was the sound in the Mars? Because a couple of years ago it was a little iffy, but I feel like it's improved drastically lately.
So Mars Music Hall is relatively new to Huntsville. It's been there about 3, 4, 5 years.
It's been more than that because it opened right before the pandemic.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I remember them opening in 2019, and Band of Horses was one of the first big acts that they got in there. So it's been a minute, yeah.
It's wild to think that the pandemic was that long ago.
It messes with our perception of time. It's weird, man.
Well, anyways, it is one of the newer venues in Huntsville, and it's part of the Von Braun Center, the Von Braun Civic Center. And the sound was fine. I think they have definitely improved it.
Yeah, I went, goodness, probably 4 or 5 years ago now with Brooklyn. We went to go see Modest Mouse. And I know there has long been a story about that band in particular, about them being one of those bands where like, hey, you might get a fantastic show or it might be an off night for them. The first time I saw them was at Sloss Fest in Birmingham. That was the second time that I seen them. Should have been a third time this past June, but we won't talk about that today. And they were great, but the sound was not good. It was really echoey in there. But you and I went to go see Cosmic Charlie,
Yes.
a Dead cover band about 2 months ago. And I was like, yeah, I want to give it another chance to see if they've done better. And it was way better. I was really impressed with the sound that night. But you say it was good for Fantagram the other night,
Oh, it sounded totally fine to me. Now, I'm not an audio technician, so honestly, I'm not going to know if it sounds slightly off, things like that. But it sounded fine to the average person.
Okay, good. One problem I had is when Isaac, the front man of Modest Mouse, was talking, it sounded like one of the teachers from Charlie Brown.
Oh, no.
Blah.
No, it definitely wasn't anything like that.
Yeah, so when Sarah was talking, their front woman, you could hear just fine?
Oh, yes.
Is it okay that I say that I've always kind of had a crush on her?
That's fine.
She's so cool. Like, I like that band. They're not exactly one of my favorites. That's nothing against them, but I've always liked them. We've seen both versions. We saw Fantagram at Sloss Fest that I just mentioned some years ago, but we also saw Big Grams with Big Boy down at the Hangout Fest, goodness, almost 10 years ago
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You think they're ever coming back? I liked them.
Who?
Big Grams.
Big Rams? Oh,
Did they say anything about that at the show?
no.
Oh, man. Well, I wish they would. I really like that.
I thought you were asking if Hangout Fest was ever coming back.
Oh, that's probably not coming back. Somebody who shall not be named on this program took that whole thing over. Now I have even less interest in it than I did. The lineup for Hangout changed drastically over the years. I think in 2016, it was enough to get us there. And it was our anniversary, so we had, we want to go see music at the beach. So that was a good fit for that. I liked it. I know you didn't as much because of like digging around in the sand to go from one stage to the other.
Because the stages were like opposite of each other, basically. And there was some couple other stages. The main two stages were like opposite of each other in the sand, and you just have to tromp back and forth all day long.
It was difficult, I'll give you that. But I still had a good time.
Well, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Like, this is me telling you this like 10 years too late. It's because every show you have to get like right front and center. And you had to like rush. You were like rushing back and forth between the stages. And I was just like, oh.
There were a lot of acts that I was dying to see. So Big Rams that I just mentioned. Portugal the Man has always been one of my favorites, and I wanted to be close for that.
Yeah.
Do you know, I want to give you some crazy trivia. I'm pretty sure that when we saw them, that was the first time they ever played Feel It Still live, like their biggest hit. That was all over the radio that
Shut
summer.
up. That's crazy.
If it wasn't the first, it was one of the first time, because I remember them saying something, which they never really talk on stage. They just go from like one song to the next. That's one thing I love about them live is their transitions where they just keep going and going and going. They don't really have a lot of stage banter, but I remember them saying like, hey, this is new for us. Tell us if you like it, or something to that extent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember we saw Run the Jewels, but we saw them at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which was...
No, that was Big Grams. That was Big Grams.
No.
Did we see Run the Jewels at Hangout? Did they do both? Oh, I'm taking 2 different hip-hop related acts. It's been a long week, man. Yeah. You're right. They were there. I do remember.
That was the first day when we came in.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm remembering that now. That was almost a decade ago now, so you'll have to forgive me. But I don't know. I'm not tempted to go back for that anytime soon now that it has kind of changed format, you know.
Well, it was also, and this is just me personally, the community aspect of it
was not there. I remember.
I don't want to say it wasn't there, but people, I remember seeing multiple groups going around doing fraternity chants.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
not the vibe we're looking for personally.
I mean, good for y'all, but.
I'll be honest, there has been a little bit of that at Okeechobee, the 2 times that I have been there. But the frat boys are vastly outnumbered by the Wooks at a festival like that. I'm interested to see what the crowd is going to be like at Halloween here in a few weeks. Brooklyn and I were plotting some stuff out and getting ready for that today, and we were kind of talking about this kind of thing because this is new for both of us. We've heard a lot of things from Maddie and Shayna and other friends that have been to Halloween, but it's still an entirely new thing for me, which I really kind of like. I like going to new festivals that I haven't tried before. How about you? Or do you kind of like stick with what you know, or do you want to try something new before too long?
Not to go back to it, but one more point about Hangout is I felt like I was the oldest person there.
Yeah, same.
And
that was 10 years ago.
We were pretty young at the time.
Yeah.
So every time I would see like another person around our age or older, I'd be like, oh, another old.
Oh, God.
I feel seen.
Well, that's something they were telling me about Halloween is the crowd is slightly older over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, to your question about do I like to try new festivals or sticking with the same ones? Sticking with the same ones.
You think so?
Yes, because I'm terrified I will get to a festival, especially a camping festival, and just absolutely be miserable. I'm so afraid of just being not in my element and being miserable. You know how you go to someone's house and if there's just like an off vibe? Like one time I went to someone's house and like literally everyone was sitting down, but there was nowhere for me to sit. So I was like, I guess I can sit on the floor. Like kind of like just an off vibe. And I don't want to be miserable and just feel awkward because.
That's a perfect metaphor, actually. Yes. I totally get that. And you'll have to tell me when we're not recording whose house that was.
Oh, okay.
I think I know, but I don't want to say while we're recording. Don't. Okay. Well, to that point, I am looking forward to seeing what the crowd at Halloween is going to be. I know, like, it can be perceived as a bit of a risk. And I have been thinking that, too. Like, oh, man, am I going to fit in? Because I feel at home at Bonnaroo. I feel I can walk around and know somebody, you know? Like, we see friends all the time. We've been going for over a decade, so we kind of sort of know like a ton of people. At Hula, I'm only going to know the crowd that I'm camping with. Probably some others that also go to Roo. I'm sure I'll run into some other friends, but it's kind of new. I remember the first year I went to Okeechobee, I kind of felt out of my element a little bit, you know? So I get what you're saying. In fact, to transition a little bit, I felt that way just barely at K-Fest this past weekend.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Yeah. Well, to back up, so on a previous episode, about a month or so ago, I was sitting in the creek with Taco and Lindsay, and they convinced me to come up for a day because I really do enjoy the Caverns. It's such a cool place. You and I have been there, like 4 or 5 times maybe? Just up the road from us, maybe an hour away. Not a bad drive. It's really pretty. In fact, I'm about to roll a video that you're going to see that I shot. I'm trying out some of the new video stuff that we have that I'm going to be using at Hula. I wanted to kind of do a test run over at the Caverns and on the drive there. So if you're watching, you're going to be seeing about a minute or 2 worth of video that I did on the way there and at the Caverns. First of all, I love the place. And right now, as people are watching this, you're probably seeing a bit of the drive on the way down there. I went up on top of Mount Eagle and then went down the hill. Beautiful drive, especially this time of the year. The Caverns itself, I love the grounds there. You and I have been in the cave and have seen shows at the amphitheater. Fantastic, love it, always recommend it. What I was very interested to see was how it worked as kind of like a miniature festival. I heard that there were maybe around 3,000 people there, and they could have fit a lot more. I think they probably would have liked to have sold some more tickets. But the vibe was great, obviously, for something like that was largely Americana and bluegrass. It was kind of an older crowd, but I even ran into the church boners. You know, that group that's
Yeah,
always
you
next
sent
to
some
the arch.
photos,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were there, and I hung out with them for about an hour or two. By the way, I know there is a running joke that those guys like to harass everybody and be, you know, kind of good-natured trolls. They were the best. They were so receptive and like, you know, were hanging out with me, gave me a drink and everything. It's just a bit of an act. But back to the Caverns. Yeah, I did feel like I fit in there. Like it was easy to make friends there because I think when you're at anything like that, people are far more open to making new friends. I will say though, I feel like the Caverns probably needs to bring in another genre or two to that Cave Fest event. It felt like it was a little one note for me. I know that's great for other people who are really into that kind of stuff and just want to see that for 2.5 days, whatever it may be. But I felt like it could have used a little bit more jam band music or maybe just a touch of electronic or something just to...
It's a bluegrass festival.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. When you hear Cave Fest, that could mean anything.
True, true, true.
I know that they're trying to run their own little miniature festival. I just think it would be great to just go a little bit outside that genre. If you're going to have it be primarily that, that's one thing. But just to have, you know, a little bit extra. There was a little bit of like Southern rock to start out the day. There was like a string band, kind of like Old Crow or Carolina Chocolate Drops. There was straight up bluegrass. There was a guy that was a little similar to Billy Strings. So it kind of stayed in that genre, but still went a little to the edges of it. I think
Cool.
they should go past the edges a little bit.
Okay.
I think that could potentially sell them more tickets. But as a venue for a festival, I think they're pretty close. Like, I think they have a lot of the infrastructure, not all. There's some they can't do because they just don't have access to utilities like Roo does. But I think if they can do just a little bit more, I really think they could be a player. Now, I don't think they could have more than probably like 7,000 or 8,000 people in attendance, and I'm just guessing. I don't know that for sure. Part of the reason, and I just learned that this past weekend, is there's a big tract of land that Lindsay guessed was maybe around 50 acres, maybe even more, that's right in the middle that they don't actually own. Somebody else owns over there. So that's why you have to...
that's wild.
Yeah, so that's why you have to walk down that path. I don't think you've been out that way. So the way that you park or camp now is like on the other side, and you would have seen it in the video by now. There's this like walking path that's maybe like a quarter of a mile that goes around that property that they don't own up through the woods.
Wow.
So now I'm thinking like, man,
That's wild.
if they could get that guy to stop holding out, whoever it is that owns that property.
How do you know it's a guy?
Yeah, well, it could be a lady. I don't know. Could be a family. It could be a trust.
Person,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, a person, whoever it may be. If they could own that property as well, they have a lot more room for camping, maybe even room for a third venue. So there is a lot of potential for them to grow. The last big thing that they would have to do that would run into a lot of money for somebody is getting enough utilities out there to house that many people. But I'm just saying, the Caverns, I enjoyed K-Fest. That particular genre is, you know, not my favorite, but still up there in the top 10 for me. I had a good time. I mostly went just to hang out with buddies because I don't get to see them super often. But after learning that stuff and seeing more of the property and seeing how like a little miniature festival can work over there, ooh, they got a lot of promise. And I think it really could grow in the next couple of years if somebody really wanted it to.
Did you not grow up going to like bluegrass festivals with your grandpa?
Yes, I did. I mean, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast or have that bus sitting back there if it wasn't for my grandpa getting me into these kind of things with bluegrass festivals.
No, I don't think you did. I grew up going to the Fiddlers Convention.
Well, tell about that.
I grew up clogging.
Yeah.
So
where was the Fiddlers Convention?
it's in Athens.
Okay, that's right. Over at Athens State University, just down the road. Do they still do that? It should be right about now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it was like last weekend.
Oh, man.
Or the weekend before or something. I don't know. I saw about it. But
Well, that's why I didn't see so many fiddles at Cave Fest then.
guess so.
Now, wait, you opened up this door. Tell everybody about your old clogging days.
No, I don't want to.
You know, you're going to have to tell that story. You brought it up.
There was a TikTok going around, and I didn't do it, but I saw people doing this TikTok, and it was like, when he asked you to dance, but you grew up clogging.
Hey, we do video now. Could you show your clogging one of these days?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe I'll think about it.
Okay. You can still do it. I've seen you do it fairly recently.
Okay, anyways, move on.
Okay, thank you. I'll drop it. Would you like to go back to the Caverns for something one of these days?
Sure, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know I looked into going to see, I want to say it was Treaty Oak. No, it was 49 Winchester, maybe, there. And I was going to camp. And I'm going to be honest, it was just too expensive. It was very expensive.
Interested to sing Portugal the Band. We talked about them earlier. They're playing at the Caverns before too long, and it was almost $100 a ticket.
Yeah, that's how 49 Winchester, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That's how 49 Winchester was. It was like that much, and then you had to pay like $100 for a camping pass.
Yeah.
And I mean, and don't quote me on those numbers exactly.
It was in that neighborhood,
but it was, it was too expensive, I think, for... I'm just being honest.
It's one of those cases where I don't mind paying a little bit more to an independent venue.
That's true. That's very true.
They're not Live Nation. They're not like C3. They're not like whatever, big conglomerate.
That's very true.
They're a very independent thing. So I don't mind a few extra bucks going to a place that's staying independent, that is bringing in fairly major artists. I kind of felt the same way about Halloween. It's a little bit more expensive, but that is still primarily an independent event from what I understand. I'll get corrected on that if I'm wrong. So I'm okay with helping out the smaller guy so that they can survive and also not get eaten by the bigger guy.
You're not wrong at all, Daniel. So talking about smaller guys, St. Stephen's here in Huntsville is about to move to the Tip Top location.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk local tea? Yeah. So St. Stephen's, St.
Stephen's Music Hall.
Some of you have been there. It's just around the corner from the brewery that Brooklyn works at over at Campus 805. As you can probably infer from the name, they're very Grateful Dead themed in there. There's another Evan that runs that place. In fact, both Evans have met. I'll try to dig up the picture and insert it in here. I love that place, but it is very small.
Mm-hmm.
It has been getting probably past capacity for the bands that they have been bringing in.
So Tip Top was an older venue that closed some years ago in Huntsville, and St. Stephen's is moving back to where Tip Top was, or a new Tip Top location, or...
I can't keep up.
I don't know.
We'll ask Brooklyn because she knows all of the tea from...
I can't remember. I should have looked it up before I opened my mouth.
We'll get Brooklyn to finish the thought on that because she gets all of the tea from all the tenants over at Campus 805. But yeah, we do need to pay him a visit once they move to the new place. I have really come to love that place. There is a interesting crowd, as you would imagine, at that place. They have great taste in music. I think Evan is also the booker, not Bonnaroo Evan, but Evan at St. Stephen's.
I saw Jay there once.
Our buddy Jay, who I work with at the day job.
See everybody there.
Well, Jay is at every show literally ever.
Yes. He was at the Panagram show.
Yes. I got a snap from you. He's very identifiable. Tall guy, goofy glasses, big bushy beard. Yeah. We'll introduce you. He was at Roo with us this past year too. He camped with us at our big group camp and was hanging out at the Monkey Bar. I think he had a blast, and he told me that he will most likely be back next year. So,
yeah, I listened to that episode today, actually.
Did you really?
Yes.
I do that. You know what? I do that sometimes. When I go running, I listen to old episodes just to get like ideas for like ones that we might have coming.
Well, see, I wasn't on that one. I think I had like one line.
Were you not?
It was the one that we recorded at Bonnaroo this year.
Yeah.
After the devastation.
Yeah. We had, if you want to go back, we had 2 of those. It was pretty much right before we started going on video. We had, what we call it, postcards from the farm, because I couldn't bring...
No, before that. The Muddaroo that we recorded actually at Bonnaroo.
That was getting my feelings out along with my friends that day. I needed to talk it out. I was going back and listening to that one not too long ago, and that was tough because you could tell, audibly we were all pretty dejected. How are you feeling now? We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm having to close my mouth about some things, but I think there should be news coming before too long that will have everybody very happy. Roo season is slowly approaching. I'm sure many of you have been watching the rumor and confirmation thread that Andrew and Ramar and those guys have been running. I think they should be having a lot of updates to that before too long. Rumor season is in full swing. I'm sure a lot of you are watching a lot of the tour announcements and looking at potential gaps. This is one I legitimately don't know about, but I saw that Youngblood, that guy, has a big gap around Roo.
So what's interesting about Youngblood, I don't know his music at all, I apologize, but he did basically say that and please don't quote me again, that music festivals were overpriced and he wanted festivals to be accessible to everyone. There was an interview with him, and he basically said the TOTEM mission statement.
Do we need to get him on?
Yes.
I wish. I have been listening a little bit more because that guy has been making such a splash. He was like one of the last artists to collab with Ozzy Osbourne. Did you see that thing that he's done with Aerosmith?
No.
He did a collab album with Aerosmith.
Wow.
And I listened to like a track or two, and I'm like, this is not bad. I mean, good on that guy for bringing that kind of like rock that has been out of style back in vogue, you know? I personally have been a little hesitant, and this is going to sound so ironic in a moment. I have been hesitant of artists as opposed to bands, which I know Tame Impala is one guy. I get it. But when they're live, they're a whole band. I get a little weirded out that it's not a collaborative effort. And instead it's like a one-person thing. And I know how ironic that sounds, given how fanatical I can be about Tame Impala. Nothing against Youngblood or anybody or whatever. We're in a weird phase in like musical cycles where artists are prioritized over bands. Do you know what I'm saying?
If you say so. I really don't pay attention because I don't listen to a lot of popular music, I guess.
I mean, I dip my toes. Yes, I have been listening to a lot of my favorites for years, but I try to get more variety in what I listen to.
Yes.
Like lately, I've been listening to the Halloween playlists to get myself ready for that, and I've been discovering new things. But anyway, Charlotte, we have been jumping around on a lot of things.
We have.
Yeah, so we have a lot of totem stuff to talk about this week because scholarships are opening up, I guess, probably when you're listening to this.
Wednesday
the 15th.
The 15th.
You might be listening to this on Tuesday the 14th, but if that were the case, that means scholarships are opening tomorrow. Now, we're going to talk about that in a moment, but first, since we're starting to talk about totem stuff, Charlotte, would you please list our names?
Yes, absolutely. Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Butter Crew Nick, Delaney, John with Texas Roo Crew, Brady, I Am Rave Dad, Courtney, Casey with Texas Roo Crew, Christy, Charmel, Jums, David and Aurora, Stringbean, Zach and Jeremy, Amber Sharkey, Andrea, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Harris, Keith, Casey, Nick, Maddie, Bruce, Andrew, Kent, Randy, Madison, Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe, and Sean.
Thank you, everybody. As I am sure that you know by now, you can find all of that at patreon.com/Roo Bus. I'm sitting in this laptop over here, and you can learn a lot more about Totem at totemfnd.org. Now, this week, we do have a lot to tell you about what we have in store for Totem in this coming year, but I want to thank our good buddy Cam, because some time ago, he put some videos together with our scholarship recipients from last year. So we're going to roll through those so we can have them tell you a little bit about what we're up to, and me and Charlotte will be right back.
My name is Austin Preston. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. This will be my 4th year on the farm. First year was 2019. I'm really excited just to experience the group camp for the first time. It's one of those years where I'm not a few of the headliners I'm stoked for, but it's not one of those where it's like a super loaded year and, I've got to be here, and here. So it's nice to have, the freedom to kind of, poke around and not be so tied down to a, hard schedule for shows. The thing that caught my eye was the shadowing experience for people gearing towards a career in kind of live music or festival production. And I went to school for broadcasting, and through that got to work with my college radio station. And through those experiences, I found myself working on our spring music festival, and that kind of sent me on this crazy path of wanting to pursue a career in live event productions. I'm most excited just to, make friends with all these wonderful people and really ingrain myself in this little community. So I think that's, the biggest thing I'm excited for sure.
My name's Emilio. I am based out of Atlanta, Georgia currently. Did school the past 2 years in the Master of Public Health program. But I grew up in like the suburbs of Los Angeles, California originally. A couple of acts that come to mind that I'm pretty excited to see are Green Velvet, Rebecca Black, and then Tyler, the Creator. I'm already kind of like reaping the benefit of having access to like a community that's like in the space of like live music and like, you know, I guess giving back in this space. What I'm studying in graduate school like relates to this. I'm interested in public health, and I see an application of public health in music festivals such as, you know, overdose prevention, the opportunity to experience music, right? Both is like multifaceted, you know, it's one as an attendee, just like see so many sets, also to immerse yourself in this experience where maybe you can like nurture your career and professional development in a space that maybe typically wouldn't have been available to you.
My name is Nyla Jacobs. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but I've lived in Tampa for, I would say, around 13 years. I went to New Orleans for college, and that city is my home. I just finished my Florida DCS certification, so I'm excited to have more opportunities come from that. The goal for my career is to be the artistic and executive producer of my own festival. I would really love to just create and curate experiences that involve music for an audience. I've heard so many wonderful things about Bonnaroo. I have no idea what to expect or what the experience is going to be like, but I do know that it's going to be great. This lineup just spoke to me. People who just talk so much about Bonnaroo. I love camping, and I usually go to one out-of-state camping festival a year. And this just seems like the perfect opportunity. Being able to further my career within making connections, learning how a festival works, especially because that's what I want my career to be. I love people, and I love being around people who are interested in going to festivals. And I would always say, take the opportunities that you see. Never miss an opportunity, because then you regret it.
Okay, big thanks to our scholars from last year. That was Nyla, Emilio, and Austin. And also thanks to Cam for doing those super cool videos for us.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that you guys know that Totem is not like a Daniel and Charlotte project. There are a couple of dozen different people who are doing things from like the videos that you just saw, to our booth at Planet Roo, to the forums for our scholarship, so many different things. And I also want to thank all of our Patreons. You have been instrumental in putting us in a very good position to really accomplish a lot of our goals. And we're about to start with one of the things that has really been working the best, the scholarship. I understand the application is going to be dropping this Wednesday, the 15th, right?
Yes, Now, the scholarship is primarily for those who are unable to afford an experience at Bonnaroo or a similar festival. So we're really looking for those who are truly from an underserved area. We do judge based on two different criteria. Number one, do you want to pursue a career in live music? Or number two, do you want to create a community curated event for Bonnaroo? So there is an essay on the scholarship application that the applicants actually go through, and they write a few paragraphs about what they want to do at the festival. So that weighs the most in their application. And we really, really need you guys' help to get out the scholarship application, to get that word out there, and to make sure we really hit that target demographic.
Yeah, so it will be everywhere on the day that it drops. Charlotte is going to put it on the Bonnaroo Reddit. We'll have it on the Totem website at totemfnd.org. Heck, I'll even put it on InfoRoo. Those guys might know somebody that would be good for it. But we're really asking you, if you know somebody that would fit the bill for what we're looking for, make sure that they have the link for this application. Tell them to write something really good in the essay part. We will consider them all, and I understand the form will be open through February, right?
Yes, through the end of February.
Yeah, so again, totemfnd.org. We'll have it plastered everywhere. I'm sure Shayna will put it on InfoRoo. She'll put it on Loophole.
Yes, Loophole.
So many different places. It's been a wild night, you guys. But yes, thank you so much. We can't wait to hear from all the new people that we're going to have apply this year, and we can't wait to welcome them to our whole found family in our group camp, where thanks to your donations through the Patreon, we will supply them with everything that they need, from a tent, an easy up, a cot, literally everything that they'll need. Cooler, some other fun stuff as well. Now, Charlotte, the week after next, I am headed to Halloween with Brooklyn to meet all of our buddies down there. But I understand that you're going to have a little something for us next week before we head down there.
I have something in mind, yes.
Okay. You haven't told me. I trust that it's good.
Okay.
So Charlotte will be back. We'll be back with something fun next week, I presume, and then the week after next, we're headed down to Halloween. We're going to do some fun video stuff there. We can't wait to have you along, and I hope to see you there if you're going as well. Some more fun stuff is coming up for Totem as well. I understand we've got some events coming up in New York, probably Atlanta at some point, probably Nashville at some point. We hope to see you there too. But guys, until then, we'll see you next week for Charlotte's thing. I'll see you the week after next at Halloween. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you soon.